Hey there, beginning farmer friends. Today we're going to talk about feed. Why we feed the feed we feed. Why we feed the feed we feed. I love that. What's going on for the future and what brought us to this decision. We're not going to talk about the science. I don't know the science. I don't have a huge opinion either way, but we're going to talk about it today. So let's talk feed. Several years back, we sent a survey to our customers and we basically asked them one question. Would you prefer non-GMO grains over, what is new GMO grains with the traits and the stacks and all of that stuff? And the support came back for non-GMO grains. Now, we also asked why they were interested in that. And this is where I say that I'm not really going to get into the science or the thoughts or anything like that, because our customers were all over the board. Some of our customers were super excited that we were interested in going the non-GMO route. They had some pretty big opinions on genetically modified organisms. They had opinions about the companies that created them, and they were like, yes, all in, let's do non-GMOs. On that survey, we also asked quite a few other questions. Questions like, what's most important to you? The feed that we feed and the type of feed that is, or the husbandry and how we take care of them, and whether or not they're raised on pasture and the woodlot. All of those types of questions we thought were important as we made a decision. Are we going to stick with conventional feed? Are we going to move to non-GMO feed? The answers really went along the lines that I thought they would. Most people were most concerned about the way we raised the animals. Were they raised outside? Did they have access to sun and woodlot and pasture and things like that? When it came to the non-GMO versus the GMO feed, there was still quite a bit of an opinion, and it did lean pretty heavily towards the non-GMO feed as what they would like us to do, but the reasons that they had for it were all over the board. Some of the customers were pretty excited about us going non-GMO because they had a pretty strong feeling scientifically that non-GMO was the way to go. Now, remember, I said I'm not getting into the scientific side of things. The main reason that I was actually looking at non-GMO grain was more because of the anecdotal reasons, talking with other farmers that had made the switch. Now, there was another group of respondents, and this one kind of surprised me. They were excited about us going the non-GMO route, and they were all for it, but the reason that they were all for it was not something that I expected. They were excited about it because they just didn't really like the practices of the companies that sold and created the non-GMO grains. So they were excited that we would go non-GMO because then we wouldn't be supporting the GMO side of the companies. Honestly, the seed still comes from the same companies, but not from the GMO side of it. There really wasn't anybody that was opposed to us going non-GMO. There were a few people that think the science doesn't really line up, but it really wouldn't matter to them, they said, because our price wasn't going to change because of it, or it was only going to slightly change. There was another group of people that said, hey, why don't you just go all in and go organic? At that time, I wasn't really ready to do that, mostly for financial reasons. I wasn't ready to raise our prices the amount that we would have to raise them in order to go organic, where the corn prices were going to be double and our soybean meal prices would be double. It would really have impacted our cost per pound of pork chops and bacon and things like that. And maybe while I liked the idea of organic, I wasn't ready emotionally to raise our prices that much. I didn't know what it would do to our business. We had made the decision to go non-GMO. Now we needed to figure out where the grains were going to come from. Luckily, I kind of had a plan. We have a neighbor who does organic grains already, and so I asked him, would you raise non-GMO corn for us? And since we started doing non-GMO, he's raised it for us. Then we had to find the soy meal, which wasn't really that hard. We found a couple sources close by where we could buy the non-GMO soy meal. The only bad thing about the non-GMO soy meal, if you could call this a bad thing, is that it was really expensive, like double and triple as much as what we had been using in the past. So with the help of the survey that we did with our customers, we knew what our plan was. We were going to go non-GMO. We knew where the corn was coming from. We knew where the soy meal was coming from. We even knew where we could get the minerals and pieces and parts like that. Now we needed to figure out how we were going to make this, because in the past we had always just been buying ground feed from the feed store or ground feed from the co-op. They would make it, bring it out 2 tons at a time for us, put it in a wagon, and that's how we would feed it. Now, for the first time, we were going to have to grind and mix our own feed on farm. Yeah, we decided to go fishing. They're playing a little 39 hours out there. Hashtag uncut angling, hashtag 39 hours, except this is 39 minutes. We're at a river now. Grinding our own feed actually worked out pretty well for us. I found a good deal on an Owatonna mixer. I brought it to the farm. Honestly, we haven't done anything in years with it. I had one bearing go out. I took it to a machine shop. They fixed the bearing, and that's about all that we've done with it, other than, you know, I've got this video that I'll put up when I broke it, but I fixed that myself, so do we really call it broken? We've been grinding and mixing our own feed, and I actually love it. It gives us the ability to make different rations for different animals, like chickens get a different ration sometimes than the pig. Different ages of pigs we've been able to do different rations with, so grinding and mixing our own feed has worked out well for us. Our transition to non-GMO grains really went pretty well. The customers liked it. We were able to source all the grains and the ingredients we needed. And all in all, we've been trucking along with it for quite a few years now. There is one more question though, and that is it time, or do we ever go full organic? There's an argument out there that non-GMO farming these days is really just 1990s and 1980s farming with chemicals and things like that. And maybe the next step that we should be making is to go organic. We have farmers near us that are farming organically. We can source those things. In fact, the bean meal that we would use for protein, it's pretty much the same price as the non-GMO bean meal that we're using. So what are we going to do? Are we going to go organic? Are we going to continue non-GMO? I'm not 100% sure on that yet. We have all the ability in the world to go organic. We have the feed, we have the processing capability. The processor that we use is organic certified, so we could go that direction if we wanted to. I'd say my only question is, are we ready to raise our prices to the point that we would need to go organic? It's a lot to think about. I don't know where I land on this subject. I would love to hear your thoughts on the subject. You know, what do you think about non-GMO? A lot of the reason that we switched is because of anecdotal evidence that I saw from other farmers, not necessarily hard science facts. Just, you know, this is what has worked for other farmers, and so I kind of wanted to give it a try. Organic, it's out there, and there are a lot of benefits for it, for sure. You know, we run our pastures basically organic, so moving to an organic certification wouldn't take much more than, you know, a bunch of paperwork. Let me know in the comments below what you think we should do, or if you have any thoughts on the non-GMO, organic, or, you know, genetically modified, stacked traits, all of that stuff. I would love to hear it. Thanks for watching. Give the video a thumbs up if you like it, subscribe, all of that good stuff. I hope you guys are having a great day.